Hello gamers around the world, I'm Sparrowkiss and welcome to Game Breaking News, the show where you can get everything important that happened in the world of gaming. Alright, so guys, things have happened and they're not really pretty now. No, they're not. But before we get started, we still got a couple of days left on the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice giveaway, so check out the link below. Alright, so first, let's talk about EA, Bioware and Mass Effect. And guess what? There are no good news again. First, tragically, Corey Gaspur, the designer at Bioware for years and years, has passed away. So a moment of silence. But the bad news won't stop there for Bioware, because Bioware Montreal, the studio behind Mass Effect Andromeda, was closed this week. Luckily for the employees, they're not just laid off, now they're incorporated into EA Motive Studios, also in Montreal, under the leadership of Hot Stuff Jade Raymond and Amy Henning, mostly known for the Jack and Dexter and Uncharted series. The Motive Studios are currently working on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, sure, this is to some point a valid action, because I'm pretty sure there's still a lot to do with Battlefront and also in the whole Star Wars universe. But, and here comes the huge but, there were rumors for months now that EA has put the Mass Effect series on ice. While there still is no confirmation about that whatsoever, this action seems like the support for Andromeda will go down drastically, and for the coming months and years, a new game is very, very unlikely now. But, and here comes the even bigger but, and this is something that I kinda didn't really freak out more in the last episode, because last week EA published their quarterly financial report, and barely mentioning Mass Effect Andromeda. With all that has happened now and what they're doing there, it's just telling me that instead of sitting down and trying to understand what's going on and what went wrong, they're just trying to cover it all up under a rug and just move on, continuing their bullshit business as usual. Yo, EA executives. The only reason why EA was unseated from its infamous title as the worst company in America, it's not because EA redeemed itself, no, it's just because other companies were able to fuck up even more than you did. So, fuck you EA for your ignorance of your own mistakes, and instead of looking at yourself, you're trying to find excuses somewhere else, well, just like before, and then to cover it up and move on to the next screw up, just like before. And while I'm in a pissed mood right here, let's talk about Early Access. You know, the system that was supposed to bring some fresh air into the industry from indie games? Well, it turns out it's just another money-grabbing scam, just like the rest of them. Anyways, first we had a bunch of news about updates on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It got some updates basically this week. Some of them were annoying, especially for streamers with all the honking that's going on, but that's not really important. The game is actually rumored again to be delayed even more than the confirmed delay a couple of weeks ago. So instead of getting a full release by the end of this year, it's probably going to be like even later, maybe 2018 and more. Because the same thing pretty much happened also for the biggest scam of them all at the moment, which is Ark. You know, the game from those asshole developers that released a DLC while the game was still, or still is, in early access. Seriously, the game died for me there. Well, guess what? Although the game was supposed to get an official and full release on the 8th of August, and they actually claimed already that they have achieved gold status, well, they still delayed the game for about 3 weeks. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's going to be a bit more than that. Ah man, early access is such a good idea, but it just gets raped and abused by assholes. Oh, how ironic. Okay, seriously, I really need to get into a good mood somehow, so how about let's take a short break to look at GTA in space.
Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
that is crazy. Well, speaking about crazy and GTA, Rockstar is getting sued. Again. This time for Auntie Poulet, that fat Haitian lady from GTA Vice City. Well, they're getting sued by the Psychic Readers Network for $500 million. Yeah, isn't that a bit late? Apparently not for the Psychic Readers Network, because they're saying that Rockstar is still making a lot of money out of GTA Vice City with remakes and etc. etc. Claiming that Rockstar used Miss Cleo here. This asshole right there. The only reason why I'm saying that she's an asshole is because she's a psychic and all psychics are money-grabbing, lying assholes. Yeah, anyways, it's probably going to be just like before. The judge will just dismiss the claims and nothing will come out of it, except for that the whole thing is totally stupid. Moving on to more stupid, The Witcher is getting an adult coloring book. I mean, God damn it. Moving on to finally some good news, especially if you have or would like to buy a Nintendo Switch. Next to Snow Motor Racing Freedom and Aqua Motor Racing Utopia, which are coming in November, but let's be honest, who cares about that? After the apparent success of Ultimate Street Fighter 2, Capcom has announced that they are working on more projects for the Switch. While it seems like they, just like many other developers, are warming up to the idea that Nintendo is back and the Switch is quite a useful console to develop for. Anyways, Capcom started already to follow up on this promise the day after announcing to work on more games for the Switch. So, the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 are getting a HD remake for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 on the August 29th. Well, sometime after that, also the Switch will get one. This is fine to do so, just make the pricing fair, Capcom. $50 for Ultimate Street Fighter 5 is way too much, but I guess the lack of games on the Switch just lets you get away with that. But there are also good news for Sony. Although the Nintendo Switch was released in March, it wasn't really much of a problem for the sales numbers of the PlayStation 4. While Sony announced that in the last quarter, from April to June, they sold 3.3 million consoles, which is a bit less than the 3.5 million in the same time last year, and also Sony lowered its prognosis for the whole year from 20 million to 18 million sold consoles in 2017. But according to SuperData, the overall sales numbers in the first half of 2017 had a total of 6.2 million. That is 17% more than the first half of 2016. More precise, 5.8 million consoles. So I would say that Sony, at least as long as Nintendo cannot satisfy the demand for the Switch, doesn't really have to worry about the current sales situation for the PlayStation 4. But Sony might have to worry about the sales numbers of the PlayStation VR, because HTC Vive announced its own HTC Vive as a standalone VR. So there's no extra PC, phone or anything else necessary. HTC wants to focus with that first on the Chinese market and then go for the rest of the world. Well, there are already some VR concepts announced already as standalones and whatnot, but the question remains, what are they exactly? We don't know really that much, and how much will they cost and when can we play with it, damn it. Okay, this is it already for this week, so thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to present you the game-breaking news of the week. Please press the like button down below and put your thoughts on this week in gaming down there as well. Things like what an ass-faced company EA is, stuff like that. Oh, and since this is a new month, I would like to show you, uncommented, a quick overview of the games that are coming this month with PlayStation Network Plus and Xbox Gold. So, other than that, I will see you on the next game-breaking news. Bye.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor?